Hello everyone, welcome in today as your 3-0 Florida Gators head to Kentucky and Kroger Field to take on the 1-2 Wildcats. This week I believe the Gators should be able to win. It might be a little bit of a tricky game just because it's a rivalry game, but the Gators are better than the Wildcats. Let's get this one underway as Kentucky boots it away to Florida, and we're going to open up with the ball. Kimber's going to take this one from about the 5-yard line. He's out to the 25 and gets up to almost a 30. That's a pretty good return right there. Garola enters the game as your starting quarterback per usual, with Montrell Johnson getting the carry for 5 yards to open this one up. Luckily, the Florida Gators come into this game healthy. They have their normal starting lineup on both offense and defense. That'll help us out. Johnson gets another carry here, picking up 7 yards. Albert's clearly happy with that. Garola's dropping back, looking to pass, and that pass is off the mark. He wasn't even close on that one. 2nd and 10 now. Garola again looking to pass. He moves a little bit in the pocket and checks it down to Harrison Wallace, the third. That's a 7-yard pickup right there, bringing us to a much shorter 3rd and 3, and we go to Johnson, and that's another first down. He gets 6 on that carry. He may not be the fastest guy in the world, but he is pretty consistent for us as Garola pulls it on a read option and takes that one for a 3-yard pickup as well. Johnson gets another carry here on 2nd down, and he breaks the first tackle. However, the second guy gets him down. We don't end up picking up anything on that play as Garola on 3rd and 6 is forced to pass, and luckily that wasn't intercepted. He threw it behind his intended receiver on that one. However, we're going to go for it on this 4th down, so Garola's scrambling out to the right. He tucks and runs, and they get him out of bounds about 1 yard shy of the first down marker, so Kentucky's going to get the ball and take over with Deuce Hogan at quarterback. He's a junior redshirt. He is not traditionally their starter. Their starter is currently hurt right now, and he's done for the season, so Hogan is going to start this one. They're about the same overall, so you shouldn't expect any drop off in play between starter and backup. Hogan with a big 3rd and 18 here, completely misfires. I don't know that he would have got to the first down, but it could have been close as they're punting the ball away, and Kimber's on the return here, and we're showing a punt, so something good must happen. And look at this. It's not a crazy return, but it's a 15-yard return, and we get the ball at midfield to start our second drive of the day. And we go to Montrell Johnson to open this one up. He tries to run through a guy. However, he picks up 7 yards anyway. That's a good carry. 2nd down now and 3, and they're in the gun, handing it to Montrell Johnson again. This time somebody comes through completely unblocked, so it's now 3rd down, and we're gonna pass. They're sending a blitz at us, so we throw it up top, and that's Xavier Henderson one-on-one. He couldn't come down with it. So we decide once again, let's go for it on 4th down, and we get blown up, and then we fumble the ball. Are you kidding me? That was a terrible play right there. Everything went wrong. Kentucky takes over. We didn't get points with that great starting field position. Deuce Hogan got blown up for a 4-yard loss to start off Kentucky's drive. That's Antoine Powell-Rhineland making the play right there. They're going to motion Brown into the backfield, and again, they're going to run speed option. However, this time, Brown has nobody over there, but Kamari Wilson gets up and gets him out of bounds, thankfully, or else that probably would have went for 6 as they go back to Isaiah Cummings, their starting running back, and he ends up picking up 5, setting up a short 2nd down and 5, which is a good situation to be in. And Deuce Hogan pulls and runs. He ends up picking up 2 on that one, so it's another 3rd down for the Wildcats. Let's see if they can convert it here as Hogan's in the gun looking to pass. He has a man wide open, and he completely missed him. Deuce Hogan's more of a scrambler. He doesn't have the greatest arm, thankfully for us, and then their kicker doesn't have enough legs, so Kentucky gets no points on that drive as we open up our next drive by almost throwing a pick to Elijah Reed. We're in the pistol formation here for 2nd down, and Montrell Johnson's blown up in the backfield. He had nowhere to go. Number 44 came through and blew that play up as Kentucky's seeming to want to blitz us all day, and it's working as we're making quick, poor decisions, and we're forced to punt it back. Here we are near the end of the 1st quarter, and we still don't see any points on the board at all as Isaiah Cummings fights ahead for a 9-yard pickup, setting the Wildcats up with a 2nd and 1. If I was them, I run the ball. Deuce Hogan's just not doing well through the air. However, he converts that one out there to Key, who fumbles it out of bounds. Luckily for the Wildcats, bringing up a 1st and 10 for them, and Hogan pulls it on a read option. He kind of moved around a little inside. He's not the shiftiest guy, but that worked for a 9-yard pickup there. Hogan again looking to pass as the 1st quarter's getting ready to come to an end, and he goes down. That's Tyreek Sapp sacking him to end the 1st quarter. It's 0-0, and you know, this game right here has been a defensive struggle. Our offenses haven't been able to get going. It's been a little bit sloppy throughout. Let's see what happens here in the 2nd quarter. Deuce Hogan opens it up with a quick pass out there to Key, who breaks a tackle and gets a 1st down. However, they're going to call clipping on that and call that play back. So here we are set with another 3rd down chance to stop Deuce Hogan, and we send a blitz with Kamari Wilson, and it almost worked. However, he was able to get to Jordan Anthony for a 10-yard pickup. So Hogan hands it to Wheeler, their backup running back, and that's a big gap up the middle for 18 yards and a big Wildcats 1st down. This is by far their best offensive drive so far far as Hogan again throws it out there to Magwood this time, and that's a 12-yard pickup and another Wildcats first down. They're setting themselves up to get points on this drive, that's for sure. They run QB power with Deuce Hogan on the next play, and that really had nowhere to go as Shamar James came in and made the play for us. Hogan pulls it this time on a read option as we have our corner Jalen Kimber come down, and he forces the fumble, and then he picks it up himself. He is running after breaking 2 tackles. He is at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. It's a Gator touchdown on the fumble. What a huge play right there by Jalen Kimber. He did it all himself. Gators take a 7-0 lead as the Wildcats take back over, trying to answer off of their big mistake. And Deuce Hogan fires that down the field to Mullen for a 27-yard gain. What a way to start this one and try to answer back. Deuce Hogan again throwing it. This time it's underneath to Anthony for another first down and a 12-yard pickup. This Gators defense is getting gassed out there. You can tell that they're tired as Brown makes a reception and he ends up picking up 4 on that one. That fumble return probably has something to do with how tired they are, having to immediately come back out there. But luckily, Deuce Hogan was just inaccurate. So it's now 3rd and 6, and they throw a QB screen to Magwood. That had nowhere to go. Pouncey took him down, and Kentucky settles for 3, and they make this score 7-3 as the Gators take back over. And Montrell Johnson runs that one for a 7-yard pickup. That's a solid gain there on first down. So Trevor Etienne checks into the game and gets us the first down just barely. They call that a 5-yard pickup. I don't think it was, but Garola decides to run some play action, and he fires over the middle. That's Emmanuel Henderson for a 17-yard pickup, and another Gators first down as we go to Etienne on the counter, and for some reason, Wint, our right guard, did not block that guy. I don't know what happened on that one. So Garola's going to have to pass it here on 2nd down, and that's Malik Mega down the middle for a 23-yard pickup. Love to see our Penn State boys doing great. We're in the pistol formation here, looking to pass again, and that's another Penn State boy, Harrison Wallace III, making a 19-yard reception, setting us up with a first and goal as we send backup receiver David Hester in motion, and we go to ETN, and that did not work. Usually the Wisconsin power play is pretty good, but not on that one as Garola throws to the end zone. Harrison Wallace III goes in for 6. This right here is going to be a 14-3 game. It's great to see our receivers stepping up, showing why we brought him with us. Harrison Wallace III really looks like a number 1 receiver for us, and he looks like a man amongst the boys out there on the field. He is fantastic as Deuce Hogan gets the carry for 10 yards to start off the drive for Kentucky, and then we send a blitz, and Powell Ryland almost knocked that one out, but they call it an incompletion. So on 3rd and inches, Hogan pulls it on the read option, and he gets smacked in the backfield and goes down. Derek Wingo stopped him. That was a quick 3 and out for the Wildcats. Garola fires that one to Mega to open up our drive, and that is a solid pickup right there for 14. We have been on a roll so far in this one. Garola moving out to the right, avoiding pressure, firing it. That's Malik Mega twice in a row, and that's another 18-yard pickup. He has been fantastic for us as well. I don't want to understate how great he's been. However, down the seam, Garola threw it into coverage to Harrison Wallace III, and that gets picked off. Kentucky's going to take over right around the 25-yard line. That was a boneheaded mistake by Garola. We never should have thrown it there, but oh well. Deuce Hogan looking to throw it to open up this drive, and that's Pope coming down with it after Shamar James looked like he was going to pick that off, but he didn't, and Pope takes it for 20 yards, so Hogan again looking to pass. That's Cummings coming down with the catch, and he ends up taking that for a 9-yard pickup on that check down. So Hogan again looking to pass here, but he tucks and runs. It looks like he has the first down and more. He is breaking a tackle at the 40-yard line and down to the 30-yard line. That was a huge play from Deuce Hogan. He showed a little bit of playmaking ability right there, as that's Crowdis making the reception for 15 yards. The Wildcats are on the move in this one, and they're going quick, of course. There's only 25 seconds left in the half, so they have to. We're down to 12, and they have to start getting this towards the end zone, and that gets dropped by Crowdis, setting the Wildcats up with a 3rd and 3, and they only have 9 seconds left in this half, so Hogan again throws it. Why did he throw it short of the sticks? That's Pope coming down with it. They call their final timeout and kick that field goal, giving us the 14-6 score we have at halftime. This has been a pretty tough fought game. The offenses did come to life in the second quarter, though. You know, the first quarter was scoreless, so at least we got 20 points in the second quarter. As we look at these offenses, Kentucky's offense has actually been better than ours. They have 210 yards and we only have 149 yards. We both have a turnover. One was a fumble by Kentucky. The other was an interception by Jack Garola. And then if you look at time of possession, we are super close. It's only 10 seconds apart. It's been a really fun, hard-fought game as we're finally getting our first recruiting news update of the Coach KJ dynasty. First up is Nick Ryder, a punter. He is a 2-star prospect, but the number 4 punter. He only has 85 kick power, but but he's a 78 overall and plus 14. He narrowed his top 3 down, and he's going to choose from one of the 3 that you've seen on the screen. Next up's Anthony Vastardis. He's a JUCO guard. He is pretty good at a 67 overall and a plus 4. His best attributes an 82 run block, and that's his final 3. Next up will be Jeremy Sinaway. He is a 4-star number 2 guard in the nation. He has his top 3 down to Florida, Oregon, and Cal, and he's a 69 overall but a minus 7. Next up's Richard Leslie. He is an athlete who's a 4-star. He's a 78 overall, and he's probably a halfback. His top 3 are the Gators, UCF, and Mississippi State. He's pretty good. He's not the fastest guy. Next up's receiver Chris Sneed. He is out of South Carolina. His top 3 are the Gators, UNC, and Clemson. He's a 75 overall but a minus 3. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's a pretty good receiver, so hopefully we can land him as we're opening up the second half with a touchback. Kentucky will take over on offense as Hogan's in the gun. He's going to pull it on a read option, and this time he has nowhere to go again. That's a 4-yard pickup. Not bad for first down, but you'd like to see a bigger play. Now they're running play action on second down, but Deuce Hogan just tucks it and runs and slides down in front of our linebackers. That's going to set up a 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats, and he throws it short underneath to Cummings, who has to come back for it and gets blown up. He didn't pick up anything. He actually lost half a yard, so Kentucky punted it back to Florida, and Trevor Etienne gets the carry, and he takes that for 12 yards. I need to see some more explosive plays out of this ground attack. Heels Fan 1982 is one of the viewers who commented, and he mentioned that in the comments, and I gotta say I agree with him completely. We can get some yards, we just can't get the big plays right now, and I don't know if that's because of the O-line or the backs we have, but I'm recruiting both, and hopefully we can improve that area, and maybe we can get a few explosive plays, because right now I do feel like that's holding our team back and our offense back as a whole, and you know, that's just something that we need to do. It may not help us this season, but next season for sure, we need to see an improvement there if we want to get into the national title game. Of course, we're chasing it this year, but I think that that's an aspect I can't do much to improve on right now. I'm trying some new plays, so hopefully that'll help us out as Isaiah Cummings gets a 10-yard carry for Kentucky on that one, and that successfully moves them away from the goal line for good as Hogan's throwing it, and he finds Poke for another first down. That's a 12-yard pickup. We need to keep Kentucky from scoring. We don't want to let them back and tie this game up as Crowdis gets a reception, and he moves the sticks once again. Kentucky is doing everything right on this drive as Hogan again is going to pass it. That's just short underneath the Magwood, and we're stuff them up for no gain. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats, and they're again in the gun, and they're going to run QB power with Hogan. Wilson came down and made that tackle. If Hogan would have stayed behind his old lineman, that would have probably been a bigger play, but now it's 3rd and 9, and he is throwing it out there, and Crowdis comes down with it. That's a 20-yard pickup and a first down, so that mistake on the last play does not matter as they send Key in motion, and he gets the carry, but Jalen Kimber breaks through and gets that tackle, setting up a 2nd and 8 for another QB power, and look at that. This time it works better for Hogan. That's a 14-yard pickup and a Wildcats first down. They're moving on this drive quick. Can this Gators defense keep them from getting into the end zone like they've done all day? We'll have to find out. That one's thrown away by Deuce Hogan. That was a smart decision, so on second down, they're running play action, and he finds Wheeler out of the backfield, who runs through our top corner, Jordan Young, and into the end zone. Touchdown. Kentucky is now down by 2, and if I'm them, I go for 2. That's exactly what they do, and Hogan throws it and completes it to Dekel Crowdis. This game is now tied up at 14 here late in the 3rd quarter. The Gators need to come back to life as they take a deep shot to Harrison Walsh III, but he couldn't come down with it. That was a great play by Kentucky's corner, bringing up a 2nd and 10 in the offset gun. We're going to hand it to ETN, and that is blown up on second down. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 13, and we have 2 backs in the backfield, and Garolo's going to throw it to Harrison Walsh III, who gets lit up, but he gets the first down. So we go to Garola on the next play, and he spins through around a guy and gets 15 yards. That's a beautiful run by our quarterback, Jack Garola. Montrell Johnson gets the carry on the next play, and he picks up 4. That's solid. If he had a little more speed, though, he'd have got that edge. That's where we're running into problems getting the big plays, as Montrell Johnson again gets a solid carry. He just is not explosive. That's the one thing I like about him, though, is he's always getting the yards that are there. Harrison Walsh III makes that reception for 20 yards, getting another Gator first down and setting us up with a 1st and goal as we go to Montrell Johnson, who doesn't really have anywhere to go. He only picks up 1. So on 2nd and goal, Garola looking to pass. He finds Xavier Henderson, who stiff arms their corner and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Florida. The Gators retake the lead in this one, 21-14, as Kentucky takes over with 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They hand it to Crowdis, who loses a yard. He should have cut that up inside. So at the end of 3, it's 21-14. Like I said, Kentucky has to answer and stay in this game as they go to Brown on the next play, and that one didn't work either. I don't know why they ran that that play back to back, just to opposite directions. But on 3rd and 13, Hogan throws it, and that's picked off by Derek Wingo, our middle linebacker. That sets Florida up in beautiful field position inside of the 20-yard line, and they go to Montrell Johnson, and he picks up 9 on first down. What a great play right there. 2nd and 1 now for the Gators. They're in the gun. Garola's looking to pass. He's on the move, scrambling as somebody came through unblocked. He checks it down to Montrell Johnson, who ran through a guy and gets into the end zone. That's a 15-yard touchdown reception for our running back. What a big play by Montrell Johnson. You love to see him truck somebody. Gators take the lead 28-14 in this one as they go to Cummings to start the next drive, and Kentucky ends up getting a first down. That was a solid play. Deuce Hogan throws it quick, and if we wouldn't have had our backs turned, Jalen Kimber could have picked that off and took it to the house, but it's 2nd and 11 now. Deuce Hogan running the QB power picks up 7, so they're in a 3rd and 4 situation here. And I hate to say it, but this is kind of do or die for them. If they don't convert it, I think Florida wins this one. However, that won't matter. They find Poke wide open for a big 19-yard reception. Kentucky keeps this game alive as Brown goes in motion, and Hogan should have pitched that to him right there. That should have been an easy pitch and a big play for Kentucky. I don't know what Hogan was doing. He tucks to run, though, on 2nd and 13, and he gets taken down. That is a tackle by Derek Wingo, one-on-one. You love to see it. Setting up a 3rd and 12 as Poke goes in motion out to the left, and then they bring him back towards the line of scrimmage. Hogan looking to pass it, throws it to Magwood, short of the sticks, so now it's 4th and 5. They need to convert this one. It was probably smart on 3rd down to do that, and they do convert it as Keem Poke comes down with a 13-yard pickup and another Wildcats first down, and they go to Cummings to start this sequence, and he gets taken down by big man Desmond Watson. Love to see him making plays as Hogan goes down the middle of the field to Brown. That's a huge pickup of 17, setting up a 1st and goal for the Wildcats. They have 3 minutes and 30 seconds or so left. Hogan looking to pass, ends up tucking it, and down he goes. That's Justice Boone getting the sack. So 2nd and goal is pushed back to the 7-yard line, and Cummings gets the carry up the middle and runs through a man and into the end zone. That's a touchdown by Isaiah Cummings. Technically, he's their fullback, but he has been a beast on the ground for them. It's 28-21 as Jack Garola takes over with 3 minutes left in this game and finds Malik Mega, who spins for a huge gain and takes it for 32 yards all the way down to the 38-yard line. What a huge play for the Gators as they try to close this one out. Montrell Johnson gets the carry and fights ahead and runs through a man for 9 yards. The Gators are trying to put their foot down and close this one out, but it's a big 3rd and 2 here. Let's see what they can do. After Johnson gets stopped, Kentucky calls their first time out of the game, and Garola's looking to pass. They find Harrison Walls to 3rd. That's a big first down, and he gets down in bounds. That is huge. Kentucky uses their 2nd timeout, so they go to Montrell Johnson on first down. That's a solid pickup of 7 yards. We're happy to take it, and Kentucky's forced to use their final timeout. So if we can get one more first down, which we do right there, this game's going to be over. Montrell Johnson for 7 yards. All the Gators have to do is knee out this clock, basically. And here you are. You see they hand it to Johnson. I don't really know why I didn't knee it, but I was trying to run up some yards. Either way, this game's over. Florida wins 28-21 in their rivalry game against Kentucky. Jack Garola was given the player of the game. He wasn't bad, but we really didn't have a dynamic player in this game. So I got to give credit to our defense and Jalen Kimber for getting that big fumble return touchdown. That was a huge play and really set everything off for the Gators. So I think our defense deserves a lot of credit, but Garola was good, finishing 13 of 22 for 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a score. He hit 59% of his passes. I'd like to see that get improved. On the ground, Montrell Johnson was solid, not spectacular, but they were good. Harrison Wallace III caught a touchdown and had 6 catches, so he had a pretty good day. Now, taking a look at our defense, you got to give a whole lot of credit to Antoine Powell-Ryland. He had 5 TFLs in this one. It wasn't any sacks. That was all made in the rushing game, which is so important in shutting down an offense like Kentucky, because they were trying to run it a lot early in this game, and that really forced them into having to throw the ball. So you got to give that man a ton of credit. He's probably my pick for player of the game just because of his 5 TFLs. I almost went with Jalen Kimber, but when I seen 5 TFLs, I was like, man, what a job right there. That's tough to do, and I'm really proud of him. Now, Kentucky was pretty solid today. Deuce Hogan actually didn't play that bad. He got better as the day went on. He's just not an elite starter, and I mean, he's only like 79 overall, so it makes sense that he would struggle a little bit, but you got to give him credit. He made some plays out there and kept Kentucky in this game. He did his best to bring them back, and ultimately they came up short, but they did have a good day, and they were a pretty tough team. As we were going to start taking a look at our Heisman Heisman standings as Donovan Edwards of Michigan moves up to number 1. Number 2 is Hunter Deckers of Iowa State. He is a quarterback. 3 is Christian Villuex. 4 is Connor Wegman, who dropped down, and 5 is Travion Henderson, who dropped all the way to number 5. Looking at our top 25 polls, it's Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, and USC up there at the top. Really, we didn't see any changes in the top 10. The only thing was Pittsburgh had jumped ahead of Washington, which makes sense. They're undefeated and had a big win. As we're scrolling down this week, really didn't include a ton of upsets. I will say Central Michigan's moving up to number 18, and as you can see, our Florida Gators with that victory over Kentucky jump up to number 21. I am so proud of this team, and honestly, I think with a 90 overall, that's justified. I'm just not sure if we're going to be ready to get ourselves into a playoff push, but if we keep playing like this, we're going to be able to do it. Next up on our list is La Tech. You know, I think we should be able to beat Louisiana Tech. Surprisingly, they're a little closer to us than I would have thought, but we should be able to dominate them. They're an independent team. They had a terrible year last year, so I'm really thinking we're going to win this one, and it should be a breeze, and maybe we'll get to see some backups play. Overall, I want to thank you for watching, and I look forward to bringing you the La Tech game. Like I said, I think that one might be a blowout, so we'll see, but thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day. I'm out.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it.